Good morning. Today I'm going to discuss the educational laws and policies in Costa Rica, which is the country where I was born and raised until I finished high school. I will discuss the history, current perspectives on the country's policies, and how these affect schools in general. Costa Rica has a history of leaders who are also teachers. They have gone through many efforts to show and emphasize the importance of a good education to help the growth of the country. In 1869, the Constitution of Costa Rica made education free, mandatory, and tax-supported. Costa Rica was one of the first nations in the world to make this provision. The educational system of Costa Rica is similar to other systems in Latin America. The Costa Rican Constitution was amended in 1949 to include Title VII, which guaranteed the free access to primary and secondary education, making access to basic education, which is a fundamental right for Costa Rican citizens. In 1957, Congress approved the Fundamental Law of Education, which established the guidelines, goals, and objective for the future of the Costa Rican educational system. This has resulted in the expansion of primary and secondary education in Costa Rica, even in the most remote regions and in the smallest of towns. With many reforms, this whole attitude secured Costa Rica with a 93% literacy rate as one of the best educated countries in Latin America. The Ministry of Public Education, also known as the MEP, is in charge with the administration of the Costa Rican educational system. It oversees the public educational system and also licenses private educational systems. The Costa Rican Ministry of Education requires testing of all students in the public schools during the final year of high school. The students must pass these exams in order to get their high school graduation diploma. The final exams, known as Pruebas de Bachillerato, to earn the high school diploma, centers on math, social studies, Spanish, a foreign language, which is usually English, biology, and civics. The public schools that go beyond the 9th grade must offer the National Baccalaureate. In the past, students had to take the first exam in the 6th grade, then in the 9th grade, and finally in the 11th grade. Nowadays, they only have to take the exam at the end of 11th grade prior to graduation in order to go to the public universities in Costa Rica. You must be aware that this diploma alone makes it very difficult to enter a university in the United States. Most students who take this exam will stay in Costa Rica and go to one of the public universities in the country. In Costa Rica, the general basic education is mandatory and free for all children without restrictions. To begin, the student must be at least 6 years and 6 months old. Primary school encompasses grades 1 through 6, and high school will go 7 through 11th or 12th grade, depending on the school. At the end of 6th grade, the student will receive a diploma that says they concluded elementary education. The children then move up to high school, where they complete the 11th or 12th grade and then receive their secondary education diploma. It is important to add that Costa Rican public schools are required by law to offer accommodations to students with learning differences. All public high schools in Costa Rica include compulsory subjects, which also offer electives. Students must take also math, science, and foreign language, social studies, and Spanish. A normal school day starts at 7 and can finish between 1 and 4, and students do not have to pay for their education, other than a $20 nominal fee at the beginning of each academic year. Most community groups also offer opportunities to do sports and to study music, art, ecology, and many other interests. Students of public schools are all required to wear blue and navy uniforms. This is to lessen the social and economic distinctions between the students. Most private schools have adopted the use of uniforms as well, but it is not mandated. Former President Figueres declared the teachings of English and computer science to be mandatory in Costa Rica. This meant a huge expense on the part of the government and the training of over 500 educators. There are 3 types of diplomas offered in Costa Rica's private schools, and this varies within each school. First, the National Baccalaureate Diploma, which is the one accredited by the Costa Rican Ministry of Education. The second one is the International Baccalaureate, which begins in the 11th grade and ends in the 12th grade. And then the third type is the United States diploma, which will allow entrance into the universities of the United States, Europe, and other parts of the world. Note that you cannot, however, enter public universities in Costa Rica with this diploma alone. The United States diploma is available in all of the American schools in Costa Rica. Thank you very much.